Hi, this is Yvonne, and I'm here with Pam Giles. Good afternoon, Pam.
Hi, nice to be here.
Glad you're here today because it's National Psychic Week.
Ooh.
Ooh, that sound scary? Psychic Week. Wow. And when you say psychic, people get all kinds of pictures in their heads and all kinds of ideas about what goes on with the psychic. I know you do a lot of readings. So do you consider yourself a psychic?
Not really.
Okay. What's the difference between what you do and what you think a psychic would do?
I consider myself more of like an intuitionist. A lot of people, psychic scares people. The word psychic scares a lot of people. But basically it's gifts that we're given when we're born. Some of us hang on to those gifts and some of us don't. You have people, who when they're little, they have imaginary friends.
Yes.
And, the mothers or fathers will say, well, Johnny, there's nobody there. And sometimes there really is somebody there, It could be someone who's, someone in the family who's passed or, someone passing through, But psychic gets a broad term.
Yes, it does. Now, Pam, you've been with us before. You and your husband, Don, Don Giles. A lot of people might recognize that name. But, and we've done a lot of different things. Let's go back a little bit and talk about some of the things that psychics do.
Okay. Well, if there's things like tea leaf reading, there's things like scrying, tarot cards, I Ching, which is done with coins, there's palm reading. There's just so many different things that some people will kind of find a niche, and that's what's good for them. The majority of people are what we call intuitives. They have an intuition. They can feel. Have you ever thought you saw something out of the corner of your eye and just passed it off? Very well could have been something out of the corner of your eye. So
very much so. Yeah, that can get really creepy there for a while, can it? Can really. Now, what types of people come to see you?
All walks.
Okay. And what are they looking for?
Most of them are looking for some kind of either closure with someone who's passed, some kind of guidance, help with life issues. That's the majority of it. I've had so many people say, well, if you're psychic, you should win the lottery. It doesn't work that way. Okay. It does not. I've had numbers given to me one time, and that was for a gentleman who, I don't even know why, but all of a sudden these three numbers came, and I said, I don't know what these three numbers mean. I said, your mom is telling me to tell you these three numbers. They didn't mean anything to him. And I just, as a joke, said, maybe you should play the lottery. And he won $100 that night. So,
thanks, Mom.
Yeah. But, it just normally, I've only had one time to tell somebody about a death. And I'm going on 60 years old, and I've never told anybody about a death other than that one time. And the reason I had to tell this lady about it was because her and her father had been estranged for like 4 years. And there was she was an only child, and they needed to connect, and she needed to spend some time with him. And that was the only death I've ever had to tell anybody about. And the reason being is, Spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, doesn't want you focused on the death process. They want you focused on living and life, and life's too short.
For all that worrying, huh?
Yeah.
Now, do you get more men than women or more women than men? How's that work out?
I would say 60-40. More women than men, but I do have a lot of men that come. Okay. So,
now tell us a little bit about your psychic, how you became psychic, or how you found out you were psychic, or
I didn't know there was such a word. When I was little, my grandmother said, I would go to the nursing home with her. She worked in a nursing home, and I would be talking to somebody, and she'd ask me who I was talking to, and I'd tell her how they died and when they died, and so it's been a way of life for me. For me, it's when I go to like hospitals or nursing homes, I kind of have to really put up a guard and shut it down, because it's like 1,000 voices going on in my head. So, but it's different.
Yeah, so it started when you were younger, so you
Yeah.
just carried on through life. Were you ever afraid of it?
No,
It never scared you?
you know, no. Even you know, like me and Don, we do all kinds of, like we have a paranormal group too. You all know about our paranormal group, and I mean we will go into the worst places because I know that, you know, like I say, God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, is with me, and we've done exorcisms, we've done talking to people who are in the house, and you know they don't even know they've passed. You know, they see things are changing in their house and they don't know why things are changing. And, you know, you have to get through to them, you know, you've already passed. You need to find the light, see the light, and go to the light. But there's some that just want to hang around and help people.
Yeah.
You know, they're not lost. They just want to be here and help.
Yeah.
So.
Now, have you found any that want to do harm?
Oh, yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, we just worked with a lady in Alabama, and they wound up having to do a exorcism on her house. So we did things long distance with her. We did an exorcism actually here just a few months ago. Me and Dawn and a couple of group members of our group went to the house twice, and the blessing didn't work. Nothing we had done worked, so we finally had to wind up doing an exorcism on the house. But yeah, this one was actually trying to harm a little girl. So, but yeah, anytime you have a sulfur smell or scratches or being pushed, those things need to be gone. So, and usually that doesn't have anything to do with psychic stuff per se. It has more to do with a lot of times it can be just someone who's angry, you know, and sometimes it can be demon stuff, you know, so you just never know.
Yeah.
That's where the psychic stuff does come in handy.
Now, I know you said you have a paranormal group. Okay, how do you choose people for your group, or do they choose you? How does that work?
Kind of both. When me and Dawn both go on intuition with a lot of things, and we have had a lot of people in the years want to go on hunts with us, you know, and they call them ghost hunts. We call them investigations. And anymore, we don't just go to someone's house or someplace to see if there's anything there. There's spirits everywhere. Okay? So what we do is we basically go with people who need help. And me and Dawn will, when somebody starts talking, you know, about joining the group or wanting to go on anything, me and Dawn, both of our intuitions come up. Because it's like, this person either is like, oh, you might go on one or two with us, or like, nope, buddy, you ain't going. You just might draw the wrong stuff, because energy attracts energy. And intuitives are very sensitive to the energy. That's why, like I say, when I go in nursing homes and hospitals, I have to kind of shut it down, because you are very sensitive to things. Sometimes you can't shut it down. You know, sometimes it's like somebody's constantly tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, I want your attention. I want your attention. So.
Well, you know, there are several TV shows, you know, about that kind of thing. How much of that have you seen that actually you've done, or is actual truth, or is this all television made up?
Some of it's television.
Yeah.
Some of it is.
Got to fill out that hour.
Yeah. It's hard for me to watch some of those things because it's like, no way, dude.
Yeah.
No. But then other things are like yeah, great. You know, and it's funny because me and Dawn here recently, especially since the Conjuring movies have come out, we have been compared to Ed and Lorraine Warren more than once. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. But, you know, people are constantly, like, we have our cards at the shop, you know, that have Casper on it, which is the name of our group, Kentucky Society for Paranormal Research. And people will take that, oh, I want to go on your next hunt, I want to go on your next hunt. And I'm thinking, we don't just go to, you know, see if there's anything there, guys.
Yeah. It's,
you know.
It's a little different than that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, who is someone who should contact you, that they have something going on in their life, and what type of person, what kind of thing going on should cause them to give you a call?
If anything makes them feel uneasy, you know, if you're living in your home and you feel uneasy, or let me give you an example. If you're standing there washing dishes and the hair on the back of your neck comes up and you feel sick to your stomach, get somebody to come in there and see what's going on.
It's not just dinner, huh?
It could be, you know. And then again, it could be if you get the hairs on your neck and your arms and that stand up and you don't get that sick feeling to your stomach, it could be Granny saying, hey, I'm watching over you. You know, so it's kind of a distinction between, you know, one of the things I do when we go to some place and investigate, you know, I use my intuition and I tell people, you know, look, if you want the good ones to stay, you know, I do a little prayer thing and I'll say, if you're here in love and light, you can stay. If not, you have to leave. And, you know, it's just a thing, you know, you don't want that negative energy around.
Yeah.
So, but if you've got that, if you get a sulfur smell, a lot of times sulfur smell, being scratched, being pushed, things being moved in the house per se is not bad because again, that could be
a good one.
Yeah, just trying to get your attention, letting you know, hey, I'm here watching over you. So, but yeah, it just kind of depends on what's going on.
Okay. Now, Pam, I know you have a shop in Lawrenceburg.
Right.
You want to give us an address if somebody out there needs
Oh, yeah, it's 700 West Broadway, unit number 9, and it's right beside Dairy Queen. Only one Dairy Queen in Lawrenceburg, so can't miss it.
You got a prime location, don't you?
Yeah. You have to watch Dawn. The blizzard, you know.
Yes, indeed. Well, listen, you know, I can't let you go today without asking you about the future. And you know what's coming up here this fall, and I'm sure plenty of people have asked you about it. Is there anything that you have seen or can tell us about the upcoming election?
Oh gosh, I didn't think I was hoping you wasn't going to go there.
You know I had to.
Oh, Lord. Let's see.
Or anything you want to tell us. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's some things that you hear and see that you don't want to share with anybody. You just wish it would go away. But is there anything you can tell us about the upcoming election?
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
Follow your heart.
Okay. Follow your heart.
I mean, I'm not going to, I don't want to offend Democrats and I don't want to offend Republicans, but I mean, again, life is too short.
Follow your heart. Okay.
Follow your heart. And I mean, go for the good.
Okay.
You know, go for the good.
Okay. Well, maybe after the election, I'll have you come back and you can tell me what you meant by that.
I can write it down and you can look it up.
Right. You can do it that way. So, she was on the right track.
Yeah, I'll write it down and I'll even date it today. Okay.
Sounds good to me. Well, listen, thank you, Pam, for being with us here today for
You're very
National
welcome.
Psychic Week. You know, when you get out there, and if anyone has any questions or feel that they need the services of a psychic, certainly give Pam a call up in Lawrenceburg. Give us your telephone number, Pam.
It's 859-324-0463.
Okay, and this story will go on our Facebook page. So like us on Facebook and talk to Pam.
They can also like us on Facebook.
Okay.
Don is in charge of my Facebook page, and he does some of the funniest things, and he'll do little psychic things. He does these little hand puppets and.
Tell Don to stop.
But you can like us on Facebook. So
yes, indeed. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.